What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a minute. I've been gone for about 2 months, but I'm back now. Today we're gonna be reacting to a video, man, crazy video, where a cop harassed a young Latino kid, man. Escalated a physical altercation with the kid, but more cops came, and the cop had a heart attack and died. So let's check this out, man.
Body cam footage of 52-year-old arresting officer St. Johns County Sheriff's Office Sergeant Michael Kunovich, who subsequently collapsed and died of a heart attack following the struggle that happened here. The kid's name is Virgilio Aguilar Mendez, an 18-year-old who later confirmed that he feared being deported back to Guatemala. He was charged with aggravated manslaughter of an officer and resisting an officer with violence. He is currently, according to the last media report I found, being detained without bail. This incident happened on May 19th at about 9 p.m. when Sergeant Kunovich saw this young man in the Super 8 motel parking lot on Florida 16 next to a closed Howard Johnson Hotel in St. Augustine. This is according to the arrest report.
Stop! 422 St. John's. 10-12, single 13P, Hispanic male, white t-shirt, black shorts, Super 8 of 16, 3576, you get phone me.
Kunovich determined that, in his opinion, it was suspicious, and he began to question him, though there was no call for service. The closed Howard Johnson surprisingly did not call and complain that this guy was walking through their parking lot.
Stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, why, when I was driving around, stop.
Eating.
Okay, but why did you get up and walk away?
Huh?
When you saw me, you got up and walked away. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
But you meet me, I go for drinking.
Maybe he was through eating, and he just wanted to leave. See, I hate cops like this. They think they're on this power trip, thinking they could just do whatever to people. Why did you leave when you saw me? Maybe the kid was finished eating. He was ready to go. Or maybe he thought you were going to start something with him, like you did.
Where are you staying?
Huh?
Where are you staying? Sleeping?
You say,
Here?
yes.
Well, why aren't you eating inside?
I'm sorry.
Cause he don't want to.
Sorry, speaks.
Okay, I've got some comment. Okay, do you have any ID, an identification, license,
But
ID, identification?
yeah.
In the room?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your first name?
Huh?
Your first name?
I'm sorry, speaking.
So when the officer attempts to grab and pat the kid down, Aguilar Mendez resists and a struggle ensues. Other deputies arrive and a taser is used in an attempt to control him. Now, these are the words of the media report from the Florida Times-Union. I'll post at the link below. Continuing on, while fighting on the ground with the deputies, Aguilar Mendez grabs the taser to try to take it away or to stop them. They get him handcuffed, but he still retrieves a folding pocket knife from his shorts pocket. This is according to the police report. Shortly afterwards,
We know we can't believe nothing the cops say. We know cops lie all the time, especially this cop right here seems overzealous and out of control and looking for a confrontation.
disarm him. Then Kunovich collapses from medical distress. And that is the official report here. The sheriff's office said that the struggle lasted about 6 minutes. About 3 deputies were involved in securing this kid, who his attorney pointed out is 5'4" and weighs 115 pounds. The sheriff, Robert Hardwick, said during a news conference that Sergeant Kunovich did everything by the book and that Aguilar Mendez was trespassing. Quote, all the suspect had to do was comply, Hardwick said. They didn't voluntarily give this body cam footage to the reporters when they requested them. And I wonder why. What does the body cam actually show?
Okay, do you have any weapons on you?
Huh?
You have any weapons on you?
No.
Well, you know what that is. Turn around, let me look. Turn around. Turn around.
But no.
Don't walk away from me.
No, sorry.
Don't pull away from me.
First of all, you can see that
He told him to turn around. As he was turning around, he gonna talk about don't walk away from me. The kid was turning around. See, I hate cops like this. See, I ain't gonna say anything.
Officer grabs Virgilio's right arm, which is holding a cell phone, apparently talking to his mom on the phone, and the officer yanks Virgilio's right arm backwards, basically says the whole "stop resisting" line. Don't pull away from me. Well, he didn't pull away from me. You very clearly can see with your own eyes that the officer is the one who pulled Virgilio's arm backwards.
Turn around.
But no.
Don't walk away from me.
No, sorry.
Don't pull away from me.
Let's set aside the fact right now that there is no justification under the Fourth Amendment for the officer to even detain Virgilio at this point, much less grab a hold of him and search him. But wait, you ask, does the Fourth Amendment even apply to illegal aliens? Does the officer have a loophole here? The Fourth Amendment does apply to illegal aliens, migrants, immigrants, whatever you want to call them. It does have some limited application in, say, border searches, things like that, other areas of the Constitution. But here, under these circumstances, yes, the Fourth Amendment does protect Virgilio, even though he's from Guatemala and is not legal at this point.
I'm checking you for what? Get your hands away from your...
No.
Stop!
No.
Stop!
No. I'm sorry. Hey.
So here are my thoughts on this. While it's tragic that this police officer died, they can't just pin his death on this 18-year-old kid, even if the initial stop were justified. But let's look at the initial stop, because I believe the lack of any legal justification for this encounter to begin with throws the whole thing out. A police officer must have reasonable suspicion that some crime has occurred in order to seize somebody under the Fourth Amendment for what's called an investigatory detention. So where a police officer is forcing somebody who's walking down the sidewalk or a parking lot to stop and give them his ID, or a police officer is grabbing a hold of somebody and searching them, that is a seizure under the Fourth Amendment. So at the very least, to even stop him and forcibly compel him his ID or his information, that requires reasonable suspicion. And then to grab a hold of him, pat him down, and search it, that's more of a Terry stop, a Terry frisk. That requires reasonable suspicion and also probable cause to believe that the person may be armed and dangerous. Here we have none of that. How is this not just a racial profiling incident? The only allegation of reasonable suspicion is that it was a suspicious person. Now, there was no call. This kid was a tenant at the Super 8 motel. Now, this did not occur at the Super 8 motel property. It was next door at a Howard Johnson that was closed down. There was no call for service. So the only allegation they have is that he looked suspicious and he was trespassing. Well, there was no call, there was no complaint about trespassing. There are no indications that this property was like barricaded off and the kid jumped the fence or something like that. No, he's just walking to his hotel room, talking to his mother on the phone. What makes him suspicious? What they don't want to say is perhaps the skin color. So therefore, with no reasonable suspicion that a crime has occurred, this kid never should have been detained. Then, once he's detained, we have the language barrier problem. So the officer just immediately escalates the situation completely unnecessarily. I would imagine that there are resources for this officer to communicate with somebody who doesn't speak English or doesn't speak English well. But instead, he just completely escalates it. And you know what? That is perfectly consistent with the fact that this guy ended up having a heart attack. And it's just sad what they're trying to do to this kid, to railroad him and make him a scapegoat for the unfortunate death of this police officer. And
that's crazy. Why would you? Well, I know why, but to put this corrupt cop's death on this kid is insane. Most likely he took the jail, but you know we can't say too much on YouTube. This happened. This video is a year old, so this happened sometime in 2023. So he probably most likely took the jab, got physical, probably eating donuts or fat ass, and heart gave out on him. So to put this on this kid, man, that is crazy, man. That is insane.
Thing that can stop this from happening is public exposure. So that's why it's important to share this video, to share this incident, to share this footage.
See, I mean, I got a lot of experience with this. I've been stopped by cops, born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. And I remember, it's like when I turned 16, I became public enemy number one. I was about 6'1" when I was 16, course black. It seemed like when I turned 16, man, the cops in the neighborhood were gunning for me for some reason. I remember it was time me and a friend walking down the street, dribbling a basketball, going to a local basketball court. Cops roll up, hop out, ask for our ID, detain us. And it was one cop in particular, a black cop. He gave me such a rough time when I was 16, 17. Every time he saw me, he would stop me, do something. It got to the point I was about to tell my mom, like, damn, the cop, every time he see me, he roughing me up, giving me a hard time. And it was a black cop. But white cops too, man. So I'm very familiar with being profiled, being stopped, even by black cops, white cops. So I'm from Georgia, you know what Georgia about. Georgia's racist. It's a saying here in Atlanta. Right now you in Atlanta. But 15 minutes in any direction, your ass still in Georgia. So believe that, and it goes down here too. So I'm very familiar with this stuff. I've been dealing with, like I say, since I turned 16, I became public enemy number one. Before that, when I was 15 on down, I never had no interaction with cops. None. Probably from the age of 16 to 18, I probably had 20 interaction with cops. No exaggeration. Just like that. I remember one time I was getting off a MARTA bus, or a city bus. I hadn't even crossed the street. I hadn't took 5 steps. Okay, not true. Maybe I took 10, 15 steps across the street. Whoop, whoop. The cops seen me getting off the bus, but yet they still rolled up on me, give me a hard time, ask for my ID. I got a book bag on. I'm a kid coming from basketball practice. It's like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. But like I said, when I turned 16, I became public enemy number one. I guess I started looking like a grown man. When I, 16, had a little, I ain't have all this yet, but I had, the little mustache, a little goatee. So they were like, yeah, it's time, boy. So yeah. But that's the end of this video, the civil rights lawyer. I'm going to put the link to this video in the description box. Go check him out. He do a lot of great content. Give him like the video. Subscribe to his channel. Like the video I'm doing now. Subscribe to my channel as well. And peace. I'll catch y'all in this video.